Valley projects were initiated by Dr. Ambedkar. And the very first question arises: why British government was developing? Actually, 1942, 1946, there were rule of the British government, and uh, so the simple answer is that the British model of governance, because British model of governance was like indirect rule, and it was not based on the direct rule like French. So Britishers were involving Indians, and after the 1935 Act, uh, after the 1935 Act, we could see that many Indians were already in the legislative bodies and administrative apparatus in Indian civil services. So actually, it were the Indians who were developing the water and power policy of India, and second was the smooth transition of power, because the Western countries, specifically Britain, have severely suffered the most in the World War, and they couldn't sustain her rule over India. So, for preventing the further conflict, further instability, they wanted to avoid any kind of conflict. So, they were actually developing India to maintain stability. Uh, Here comes the post-war economic plans during 1942 1946 and water policy. So there were two major plans after the post-war reconstruction, and first was immediate repair, and second was long-term oriented reforms other than immediate repairs. So immediate repairs were like rehabilitation and resettlement of the defense personnel that were involved in the war-related industries. So basically, immediate repair was focused on to shift those workers from the war-related industries to the other industries. And the second was long-term oriented reform, and this was very crucial at that time. And the water and power policy initiated by Dr. Ambedkar played a very significant role under long-term oriented reforms, because this was focusing on the building of new infrastructure projects, building of new industries which were different from the immediate repair. And there were many other plans. We could see that Bombay plan by JRD Tata, and the People's Plan, and the Congress plan by National Planning Committee, Nehru, and scientists like Meghnad Saha. There were some other plans as well, and these plans were conceived with the continuity of at least 15 to 25 years at least. So these economic plans were drawn on a general line of 15 to 25 years. So they need huge capital expenditure, huge labor, and huge time. And for supervision and developing these plans, RCC was created, Reconstruction Committee of the Council, and Ambedkar was the president of this Reconstruction Committee of the Council, and this Reconstruction Committee of the Council prepared four policy statements. Uh, on water and power policy was one of them, and these four policy statements were: the first was regarding broad policy of post-war reconstruction and economic development, and second was the detailed statement of policy on subject within the department jurisdiction, mainly labor, irrigation, and power, and third was an detailed action plan, and fourth was the policy stand on certain basic questions such as what would be the state versus private ownership of irrigation and hydroelectric projects, and what would be the role of state and center in the development of irrigation power, and what are the areas of central government intervention and participation in these two subjects, and किसके अंडर में आएगा बेसिकली ये irrigation और water का जो issue है. So this was very huge challenge at that time for Dr. Ambedkar to maintain this kind of issue and to address this kind of issue. And we could see that policy statement of irrigation and power. Labor department was given the responsibility of preparing the policy, and labor department was under the Dr. Ambedkar, and central government was and the central government was planning to develop these issues. First was irrigation, waterways, and drainage. Second was inland water transport, and third was development of the electric power. So here comes the irrigation, waterways, and drainage. It was directly comes under the Dr. Ambedkar responsibility, and uh, irrigation, waterways, and drainage. Everybody know that it is very basic to, it is very fundamental to industrial and agriculture development of the country. And industrial and agriculture development of the country was very necessary because after the World War Second, we suffered most, and our food surplus was shifted to the Western countries during World War. I was reading an article of the A.K. Bakshi that in which he said that our food we India was a food surplus country, and our food surplus was shifted to the Western countries for World War Second, and India became a food deficit country. So irrigation was needed to again develop the industry, and irrigation for soil conservation and flood control. And for this, policy statement proposed that planning and execution would be rested with the provinces, and all possible help of center, including financial help in deserving cases, technical expertise would be also provided to the states. And another was inland water transport. And policy statement regarding inland water transport proposed that measures to improve the navigability of the rivers. Why inland water transport was also an issue? Because its use was the use of inland water transport was artificially declined due to introduction and heavily reliance on railways. Railways was introduced, and hence resulted in the artificial deterioration of the waterways by Britishers. And sometimes we also deteriorated the waterways by increased irrigation works. But to developing inland water transport, policy statement proposed that we have to improve the navigability of rivers and existing waterways. We have to use irrigation canals for inland traffic, and we have to construct new artificial waterways. We have to increase use of steamers, tugs, and power-driven barges, and we have to develop the country's craft, and we have to meet the competition from other form of transport as well as coordination. And the debate of railway versus canals comes here. And we know that India is a water rich country. India has so many rivers, and there is a huge difference between India and the western country. We could see that जो इंडिया है, जो हमारा ग्लोबल साउथ का जितना भी कंट्री है, लाइक इंडिया हो गया, साउथ और अफ्रीकन, पूरा अफ्रीका कॉन्टिनेंट है, लैटिन अमेरिका है, साउथ ईस्ट एशिया है, और साउथ एशिया है. So we are nature loving countries. We Our lands are so prosperous, and nature has given very much to us, and nature is very smooth to us. And if we look at the western countries, we will find that nature is very harsh to western countries. And इंग्लैंड हैज़ ऑल्सो लॉट ऑफ रिवर्स, बट उनके जो रिवर्स हैं उसमें हर समय जो है पानी फ्रीज रहता है. तो मोस्टली जो पानी फ्रीज रहेगा तो उनको जो है रेलवेज इंट्रोड्यूस करना पड़ा अपने यहाँ पे. और हमारे यहाँ रेलवे की जरूरत नहीं थी. हमारे यहाँ ऑलरेडी कैनाल से हम लोग बहुत पहले से यूज़ करते आ रहे हैं. अगर हम एंशियंट हिस्ट्री में देखें, अगर हम मेडिवल हिस्ट्री में देखें, तो हम हमेशा से कैनाल से यूज़ करते आ रहे हैं. तो डॉक्टर अम्बेडकर का आइडिया था कि क्यों नहीं हम कैनाल्स को ही प्राइमरी उस पर रखते हैं. रेलवे जो है वो तो इकोनॉमी को सेंट्रलाइज करने का मॉडल था. ब्रिटिशर्स ने रेलवे इसलिए डेवलप किया क्योंकि वो इकोनॉमी को सेंट्रलाइज करना चाहते थे, और सेंट्रलाइज करके जो यहाँ का हमारा जो कैपिटल सरप्लस था उसको जो है वो ब्रिटेन में लेना चाहते थे. तो another one is development of electric power. So electric power was also crucial to develop the country.
Mr. Abhinav, you are on mute. Can you please unmute yourself?
Is it audible now?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely audible. Yeah.
So did I miss something?
No, 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 not much. You could start from there.
Okay, so development of electric power. So it was also crucial to develop the country's industries, because Britishers has developed industries for their profit, and we needed industries for ourselves. So actually, development of electricity from the water is very sustainable idea. and we could find that rather than using fossil fuels like coal and other things, water is very sustainable for the development of electric power. And Dr. Ambedkar was the first to think about development of electrical power through the water. And the policy statement regarding development of the electric power through the water considered that government secured the allotment of manufacturing capacity for additional heavy power equipment for key electricity development undertakings. So गवर्नमेंट जो होगी वो जो हैवी इलेक्ट्रिकल डेवलपमेंट है उनका जो पब्लिक अंडरटेकिंग है उनको स्पॉन्सर करेगी। और इसके लिए सेंट्रल टेक्निकल पावर बोर्ड भी बनाया गया जो कि पूरे इंडिया के लिए काम करेगा। और एग्रीकल्चर के लिए इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का यूज भी एक्सेप्ट किया गया था डेवलपमेंट ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी पावर में। सो so these three were mainly main ideas. And after that, we could see that River Valley Authority. And River Valley Authority, it was the most appropriate mechanism to implement interstate projects because it was developed like an independent authority which would derive its legitimacy through the agreement between provinces and the center. And this agreement was signed in December 1944। एंड अम्बेडकर ने कहा भी था एक कॉन्फ्रेंस में कि इफ द सोन्स potentialities were to be fully exploited, it was necessary to have a regional rather than a local approach। तो अम्बेडकर चाहते थे कि जो भी रिवर है उसको लोकली यूज करना, क्योंकि रिवर जो है वो कई सारे प्रोविंसेस से होके जाती है, उसका नेचुरल बाउंड्री, उसका कोई आर्टिफिशियल बाउंड्री नहीं है। तो उसको जो है हमें रीजनल लेवल पे सोचना चाहिए बजाय लोकल उसके। इसके लिए अम्बेडकर ने कई सारे प्रोविंसेस को साथ में बिठाया और उन्होंने एग्रीमेंट भी साइन किए। और उसी के बेसिस पे जो सबसे पहली हमारी परियोजना बनती है वो हम देखते हैं वेस्ट बंगाल की बनती है, दामोदर रिवर वैली। सो अम्बेडकर एक्चुअली इसके पहले तक क्या था, इसके पहले तक था कि जो भी इंडिया में रिवर्स हैं, जो भी सरप्लस वाटर था उसको इविल वाटर कंसीडर किया जाता था। अम्बेडकर ने जब ये कॉन्फ्रेंस हो रही थी उसमें कहा भी था कि वाटर इविल कैसे हो सकता है, इट इज द नेचुरल रिसोर्स एंड वी आर वेरी lucky to have these natural resources in our country। and he said water is a resource and it is a natural asset। हाउ कुड इट बी इविल, इविल कैसे हो सकता था, क्योंकि लोगों का अंधविश्वासों में भरोसा था और वो कहते थे कि अगर पानी ज्यादा है, जैसे हर समय फ्लड आ रही है, तो ये देवी का मारा है, ये शैतान का मारा है, ये देवी का प्रकोप है। सो वाटर का जो ओरिएंटेशन था वो पहले निगेटिव था। एंड अंबेडकर ने कहा कि नहीं ऐसा नहीं है, सरप्लस वाटर है तो उसको हम यूज कर सकते हैं, उसको हम यूटिलाइज कर सकते हैं थ्रू द डैमिंग ऑफ रिवर, थ्रू द चैनलिंग ऑफ वाटर इनटू डिफरेंट डैम्स एंड टू टू यूज इन कैनाल्स एंड नेविगेशन इलेक्ट्रिसिटी। सो उनका जो अप्रोच था वो प्रैक्टिकल अप्रोच, प्रैग्मेटिक अप्रोच था वाटर को लेके, साइंटिफिक अप्रोच था। और जो उनकी फिलोसफी थी वाटर की वो इक्वालिटी, फ्रेटर्निटी और जस्टिस पे थी। और ये हम देखते हैं कि जैसे कि उनको स्कूल में डिनाई भी किया गया था पानी को, तो उन्होंने वाटर पॉलिसी का मैकेनिज्म इस तरह डेवलप किया कि जो भी लाइन में लास्ट आदमी खड़ा हुआ है, जो भी लास्ट व्यक्तित्व है उसको भी पानी समान रूप से मिले, बिकॉज ये नेचुरल रिसोर्स है। और इसके लिए जब डैम बनाए गए तो एग्रीकल्चर के लिए बहुत सारा लैंड अवेलेबल हो गया और पानी जो है सब तक पहुंचा। इसके आगे हम देखते हैं कि उनका जो मेन आइडिया था वो था मल्टीपर्पज यूज ऑफ रिवर वैली बेसिन्स। और कैलकाटा कॉन्फ्रेंस जो है जनवरी 3 1944 की, उसमें अम्बेडकर ने कहा भी था द प्रोजेक्ट ऑफ डैमिंग द दामोदर शुड हैव इट्स पर्पस नॉट मेनली stopping the flood but also include the generation of electricity and supply of water for irrigation, navigation and industrial use। And there has not been enough realization that our policy for waterways must be multi-purpose policy so as to include all possible uses of water। So अम्बेडकर जो है वाटर का मल्टीपर्पज यूज करना चाह रहे थे। और ये जो है पहली बार जो है इंडिया में उन्होंने ही सोचा था, उन्हीं का आइडिया था। और एक्चुअली में रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी भी उन्हीं को दी गई थी रिकंस्ट्रक्शन कमेटी ऑफ द काउंसिल के तहत। इसके बाद हम देखते हैं कि नेहरू ने भी इस पर बहुत काम किया। बाटला नागल डैम जो है वो नेहरू के टाइम पे बनाया गया। और नेहरू तो कहते थे कि जो जो डैम है ये मॉडर्न इंडिया के टेम्पल हैं, मॉडर्न इंडिया के टेम्पल्स की तरह हैं। और सो इसके लिए उन्होंने जो है टेक्निकल एक्सपर्ट बॉडीज बनाई। टेक्निकल एक्सपर्ट जो बॉडीज थी उसमें उन्होंने कहा था कि देयर इज अ रियल नीड फॉर एन एक्सपर्ट बॉडी कैपेबल ऑफ एडवाइजिंग बोथ द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया एंड द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट व्हेन सो रिक्वायर्ड। and government of India feels that it is advisable that they should set up a central waterways and irrigation commission at the center. So ये बनाने की जरूरत इसलिए पड़ी क्योंकि वाटर और इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, बेसिकली इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, these are very technical issue and they could not be handled at general level. So इसके लिए जो है द सेंट्रल वाटरवेज इरिगेशन एंड नेविगेशन कमीशन बनाया गया। मार्च 1944 में ये अम्बेडकर ने अप्रूव किया और अप्रैल 4 1945 में ये जो है वायसराय जो इंडिया के थे उन्होंने अप्रूव किया। और इसके अलावा सेंट्रल टेक्निकल पावर बोर्ड बनाया गया, ये भी 1944 में अप्रूव हो गया था। और बेसिकली दीज टेक्निकल एक्सपर्ट बॉडीज वर डिजाइन टू कलेक्ट डेटा, कंडक्ट सर्वे, acts as central planning organization to advise central and state governments. And we could see the major idea of the Ambedkar on water was multi-purpose use of water, and we have already discussed the canals versus railways debate. Multi-purpose use of water consists of irrigation, navigation, and electricity. आज के समय में सुनने में बहुत आसान लग रहा है कि नहीं, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी भी पानी से बनती है, इरिगेशन से बनती है, नेविगेशन से बनती है, बट उस समय अगर हम देखें तो this was a huge challenge because there was no infrastructure, there was no capital accumulation, and there was 1935 Act which was the main legal obstacle. uh, so रिवर वैली अथॉरिटी जो है एक्चुअली ये टेनेसी रिवर वैली अथॉरिटी जो अमेरिका में है उससे भी प्रेरित है, बिकॉज व्हेन अंबेडकर वाज स्टडीइंग इन अमेरिका ही सॉ द टेनेसी रिवर वैली अथॉरिटी। एंड एक नैरेटिव ये भी है कि डॉक्टर अंबेडकर जब इंडिया में इसके लिए इंजीनियर्स को अपॉइंट कर रहे थे तो जो चीफ इंजीनियर था वो ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट वो ब्रिटिश चीफ इंजीनियर को अपॉइंट करना चाह रही थी, बट अंबेडकर ने उसको डिनाई किया और उन्होंने कहा कि उसको कोई भी एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है, तो उन्होंने टेनेसी रिवर वैली का जो इंजीनियर था उसको अपॉइंट करवाया था। And on navigation, we could see that he stated that navigation in India has had a very checkered history, and during the rule of the East India Company, provisions for international navigation occupied a very prominent part in public budget of the company's government. And many of the navigation canals we have in India today are remnant of that policy. And he said that railways came later, and for a time the policy was to have both railways and canal navigation. And by 1875, there arose a great controversy in which the issue was railways versus canals, and the battle for canals was fought bravely by Sir Arthur Cotton. अनफॉर्चुनेटली द सपोर्टर्स ऑफ रेलवेज वन। तो ऐसा नहीं है कि ब्रिटिशर्स जो है वो कैनाल्स का यूज़ नहीं करना चाह रहे थे, लेकिन उनको जो है कैनाल्स के यूज़ में एक्सपीरियंस भी नहीं था। और एक्चुअली कैनाल्स जो है वो बहुत ही चीपर वेज हैं, बहुत ही सस्ता साधन है ट्रांसपोर्ट का, बट ब्रिटिशर्स का जो ओरिएंटेशन था वो सेंट्रलाइजेशन ऑफ द इकोनॉमी था। इसलिए जो है उन्होंने रेलवेज को इंडिया में डेवलप किया। और अंबेडकर ने आगे कहा, वाई आई एम रीडिंग दिस पैराग्राफ्स बिकॉज अंबेडकर की वाटर पॉलिसी के ऊपर बहुत कम काम हुआ है, और जो भी डेटा है, जो भी अंबेडकर का जो भी उनके स्टेटमेंट्स है वो बहुत ही प्राइमरी फॉर्म में अभी भी हैं। And when I was researching, I found that there is only 2-3 articles. One is newspaper and one was in EPW magazine, and I didn't found very much material on this topic. So I am using the primary data itself. So Ambedkar said that I am not quite happy about the victory of the railways over canals. Much more annoying is the opinion of supporters of railway that canals must go because they do not pay, without knowing that if the canals do not pay, it is not because they cannot pay, but because their capacity to pay has been terribly mutilated by leaving them uncompleted. Uh, I am sure that internal navigation cannot be neglected in the way in which it has been in the past. सो अम्बेडकर का बहुत ज़्यादा भरोसा था कि वो नेविगेशन को दोबारा से जो है वो कैनाल्स के थ्रू इम्प्रूव करा सकते हैं, इनलैंड वाटर नेविगेशन को। और उनके समय में जो मेजर प्रोजेक्ट स्टार्ट हुए थे वो सबसे पहला दामोदर रिवर वैली का प्रोजेक्ट था, फिर महानदी रिवर वैली प्रोजेक्ट आया, सोन रिवर वैली प्रोजेक्ट आया, और जो हीराकुद डैम हम देखते हैं महानदी रिवर वैली पे। एक्चुअली जो है जो जो इविल वाटर का कॉन्सेप्ट था इंडिया में, जो हम बोलते थे कि सोरो ऑफ वेस्ट बंगाल है दामोदर रिवर, कोसी रिवर जो है वो सोरो ऑफ बिहार है। तो जो सोरो का कॉन्सेप्ट था इसको अंबेडकर जॉय में कन्वर्ट करना चाहते थे, बट हम देखते हैं कि आगे के समय में हम वो प्रॉब्लम अभी भी फेस कर रहे हैं। अभी भी हमारे पास जो है सेम सिमिलर प्रॉब्लम है लगभग, जैसे कि इररेगुलेशन इन वाटर मैनेजमेंट। बेसिकली इररेगुलेशन क्या है कि एक तरफ हमारे पास फ्लड एरिया है, एक तरफ हमारे पास ड्रॉट एरिया है। जहाँ पे पानी नहीं है, नेचुरली नहीं है। इंडिया एक्चुअली दो पार्ट में डिवाइड है, हिमालयन पार्ट और पेनिनसुलर पार्ट। जो हिमालयन रिवर्स है वो हर समय पानी रहता है उनमें, मगर जो पेनिनसुलर पार्ट है उसमें ड्रॉट की सिचुएशन आ जाती है कभी कभी। और इसकी वजह से ग्राउंड वाटर डिप्लीशन भी है, क्योंकि रिचार्ज नहीं होता है, वाटर रिचार्ज नहीं होता है। हमारे रिवर्स भी पॉल्यूटेड हैं बहुत सारी। सो ये आज के मेजर वाटर चैलेंज है, अगर हम बहुत ही ह्यूज लेवल पे, अगर हम सेंट्रल लेवल पे देखें, पॉलिसी लेवल पे देखें, तो लगभग ये भी सिचुएशन आज वही है, क्योंकि जो अम्बेडकर चाह रहे थे जो मल्टीपर्पज यूज ऑफ वाटर को, वो सस्टेनेबल तरीके से आगे कंटिन्यू नहीं हो पाया, या उसमें बहुत ज़्यादा देरी हुई। सो सॉल्यूशन क्या है आज के समय में, अगर हम अम्बेडकर के आइडिया से देखें, इंटरलिंकिंग ऑफ रिवर। सो इंटरलिंकिंग ऑफ रिवर जो है वो सरकार ने स्टार्ट किया है, और बहुत सारे रिवर्स को इंटरलिंक भी किया है। इसके अलावा इंटीग्रेटेड वाटरशेड मैनेजमेंट प्रोग्राम हो गया, नेशनल रिवर कंजर्वेशन प्लान हो गया, नेशनल वाटर मिशन हो गया, डैम सेफ्टी एंड रिहेबिलिटेशन हो गया। डैम सेफ्टी एंड रिहेबिलिटेशन इज वेरी मच इंपॉर्टेंट, बिकॉज जब हम रिवर के ऊपर डैम बनाते हैं, तो हम ऑब्वियसली जो है कहीं ना कहीं प्रकृति के साथ छेड़छाड़ तो करते ही हैं। लेकिन इसका मतलब ये नहीं हो गया, जैसे अगर हम फायर का एग्जांपल ले लें, तो फायर का अगर इन्वेंशन हुआ है तो उससे उससे हमने बहुत सारा डेवलपमेंट भी किया है, बहुत सारा एवोल्यूशन भी देखा है। लेकिन वही फायर आग भी लगाती है। तो इट डजेंट मीन दैट डैम बनाना जो है वो इकोनॉमी के लिए या पब्लिक के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा हानिकारक है। उसके लिए हमें सेफ्टी और रिहैबिलिटेशन प्रोग्राम भी साथ साथ चलाने पड़ेंगे सस्टेनेबल तरीके से, तभी जो है इसीलिए जो है सरकारों ने डैम सेफ्टी एंड रिहैबिलिटेशन प्रोग्राम भी लॉन्च किए हैं। और नेशनल वाटर मिशन के अगर हम गोल देखें, तो ये कुछ गोल्स हैं कि जो वाटर डेटाबेस है उसको पब्लिक डोमेन में कॉम्प्रिहेंड करके लाना है, और सिटीजन और स्टेट का जो एक्शन है वाटर कंजर्वेशन को लेके उसको प्रमोट करना है, ऑगमेंट करना है, उसका प्रिजर्वेशन करना है। जो वर्नेबल एरिया है, जो ओवर एक्सप्लॉइटेड एरिया है वाटर के, उन पर ज़्यादा फोकस करना है। वाटर एफिशिएंसी को 20% बढ़ाना है, और बेसिन लेवल इंटीग्रेटेड वाटर रिसोर्स मैनेजमेंट को भी बढ़ाना है। एंड देयर इज अ मैप इन विच वी कुड सी दैट हाउ रिवर्स आर इंटरलिंक्ड। एंड अभी तक जो है, अभी तक अगर हम बात करें, तो अभी तक लगभग 18 रिवर जो है नेशनल रिवर कंजर्वेशन प्लान के तहत जो है वो सफाई हम कर चुके हैं उनकी। क्योंकि नेशनल रिवर कंजर्वेशन प्लान जो आया था, जो वो इसलिए आया था कि जो गंगा एक्शन प्लान जो 1985 में आया था, गंगा को क्लीन किया जाए, फॉर द क्लीनिंग एंड रिजुविनेटिंग ऑफ द पॉल्यूटेड रिवर्स अक्रॉस द कंट्री। सो हम 18 रिवर्स तक ये प्लान पहुंच चुका है। So here I am stopping my talk, and with this picture, and this picture actually is from the Mahar tank, where the Ambedkar maneuvered the movement for uh, for the right of drinking water. And we could see the legacy of the Dr. Ambedkar in water policy and management and in other fields, that जिस पानी को उनको एक समय छूने का अधिकार भी नहीं था, वो पानी जो है आज उनके कदमों के नीचे है। सो दिस इज द लीगेसी ऑफ डॉक्टर अम्बेडकर, who always fight for equality, fraternity and justice. Thank you to everyone.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abhinav. Well, water is such a crucial element for human life, and India is such a geographically different land, and like at some places we have a lot of water, at some places we have very plenty one. So it's worth discussing about its management, and you really did a wonderful job. Now, let's like move further and take some questions from the chat box. So the first question is I'm taking by Mr. Ashish Singh, and he's asking, can you provide an example of a policy proposed by Dr. Ambedkar that has had a long-term effect on India's water or power sector? Should
Actually,
okay.
uh, the major policy was, if you look at the implementation part, सो दामोदर रिवर वैली जो थी वो उन्हीं के समय इनिशिएट हुई थी, और दामोदर वैली अथॉरिटी का जो प्रोजेक्ट है वो अभी भी चल रहा है। और भी कई उनके समय में इनिशिएट हुए थे, वो अभी भी हैं। सो दामोदर वैली इज द फर्स्ट प्रोजेक्ट इनिशिएटेड बाय डॉक्टर अम्बेडकर इन इंडिया, एंड possibly it was the first project in India also.
Okay, now the next question asked by Mr. Saurabh Singh. जैसे कि आपने अभी अपने टॉक में बताया भी था कि like peninsular India sometimes face a lot of drought kind of situations. So basically he is asking कि हमारे पास बहुत सारे governmental और non governmental organization हैं जो sustainable water use पर work कर रहे हैं. But still frequently we face situations like flooding in Bangalore or like drought. So, what do you think where we are lacking, and according to you, who can be the Ambedkar of today in like some regard?
First question is why we face flooding drought like situation in Bangalore. एक्चुअली बैंगलोर का जो केस है ड्रॉट का, वो जहाँ तक मैंने पढ़ा है वो ग्राउंड वाटर डिप्लीशन की वजह से है, क्योंकि बैंगलोर इज़ अ अर्बन एरिया और वहाँ पे ग्राउंड वाटर नहीं है। तो वही है कि ग्राउंड वाटर जब तक रिचार्ज नहीं होगा, और रिचार्ज कैसे होगा, रिचार्ज होगा जब हम इंटरलिंकिंग ऑफ रिवर करेंगे, और जो वाटर डेफिसिट एरिया है वहाँ पर सरप्लस वाटर से वाटर डेफिसिट एरिया को वाटर ट्रांसफर करेंगे। सो धीमे धीमे रिचार्ज होगा, इट इज़ अ नेचुरल प्रोसेस, और ये एक दिन में तो नहीं होगा। एंड सेकंड क्वेश्चन इज हु कैन बी द अम्बेडकर ऑफ टुडेज इन सम रिगार्ड्स, तो आई डोंट थिंक सो एनीबडी कुड टेक हिज प्लेस।
Uh, okay. Last question I'm taking is by Miss Anushka, and she's asking that since we know any major contribution to India's development during British rule didn't come without any confrontation. So her question is basically, was there any confrontation faced by Dr. Ambedkar while he came up with this idea?
आई डिडंट गेट द क्वेश्चन एक्चुअली, मतलब वो किसकी तरफ से कंफर्टेशन फेस करना था उनको, ब्रिटिशर्स की तरफ से या इंडियन की तरफ से?
I guess she is talking about the Britishers.
एक्चुअली ब्रिटिशर्स ने ही लेबर मिनिस्ट्री के तौर पर उनको डिपार्टमेंट दिया था। सो मुझे ऐसा नहीं मिला कि उनको कोई कंफ्रंटेशन ब्रिटिशर्स से फेस करना पड़ा हो। हाँ, एक एग्जांपल जरूर मिलता है जब ब्रिटिशर्स अपने चीफ इंजीनियर को वहाँ पे बिठाना चाह रहे थे, बट डॉक्टर डॉक्टर अम्बेडकर ने उसको डिनाई किया था, और उन्होंने कहा था कि जो इसमें एक्सपीरियंस है टेनेसी वैली अथॉरिटी का इंजीनियर, उसको हम इस प्रोजेक्ट में लगाएंगे।
Okay, that's great. Okay, last question I'm asking to you. What was your experience with this platform?
एक्चुअली इट इज़ अ वेरी ग्रेट ग्रेट प्लेटफॉर्म, और जो भी टीम है जीएसटीएस की बहुत अच्छे से कोऑपरेट भी किया है इस टीम ने। और जो टॉपिक है मैंने देखे हैं कि इसमें वो काफ़ी रेलेवेंट टॉपिक होते हैं आज के जो इश्यूज हैं उनको रिलेटेड। और माय बेस्ट विशेस टू जीएसटीएस एंड इट्स कन्वीनर एंड ऑल द टीम मेंबर्स। थैंक यू टू एवरीवन।
Thank you. Thank you so much. Again, congratulations for your talk, Mr. Abhinav. Now it's time to call our guest of honor again for her final remarks. So let's welcome again Dr. Madhavi ma'am for her final remarks over the topic, over the today's topic, and over this talk and over this platform as well.
Thank you, Shailendra, and thank you, Abhinav. You really presented a very good topic, a very good talk, and it is really relevant in today's time to discuss all these sustainable development projects. And what is more remarkable for me that we talked about a lot Ambedkar, but whenever we talked about Ambedkar, we discussed various other things. He is as a politician, he is as a reformer, Ambedkar as a economic, political development policies, etc., etc. But this is something very new. So when I heard about this topic, the first thing was in my mind, why you chose this topic, right? Because we all understand that it was a very different time. The national movement was going on, Gandhi was there, and whenever you heard about Ambedkar, you talk about Gandhi as well. And Gandhi also discussed various things about the development, sustainable development, or the rights of the Dalit. As you very rightly mentioned, I really liked that when you started with his personal experience. I think you were talking about the school, like when he was denied to touch the water or have the water. So that was really very effective one, that how someone being from a particular community, his experience, what was water to him, and how it was not reachable to the other people. They were denied, totally denied. And some community, they were having authority over it, right? And it was like, it was a political power, it was economical power, it was cultural power. So it is of course very interesting thing to know about that person who was thinking about various things. Like Ambedkar, he was talking about the labor, he was talking about the oppressed class of the society, their political rights, various other things. But at the same time, he also thought about these things, which suddenly, after 1980s, 1990s, we started thinking about it, or we started, these are also important, and these are the important part, aspect of today's life, or various other things. So that is very interesting. Another thing which I really liked in your topic, that is about how we treat the river, the water, the excessive water, as you like. Even like I'm from Bihar, and whenever there is a like flood and everything, we talked about, and there is some phrase uh, uh, related to some particular river, like Soro River of Son. Yeah, yeah. So all these river, how people in their uh, imagination, popular imagination, they are treating these water resources, and how we need to really think about how we could do the management of it. So it's really very good thing. And then you talked about the railway. Of course, railway we all see as a development, right? And then there was a debate going on, what you want. Then Ambedkar, he talked about that we really need to think about the local versus regional problem. What could be the local, what could be the regional, and how we can deal with all these problems. So these problems somehow still persist. Like there are many things, but these problems are still there. So your topic, your speech, and your delivery was really very good, very effective one, and it's really relevant in today's topic. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Many congratulations to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, can you please like explain a little? I mean, can you please like say something about this platform as well? I mean,
Yeah, about this. Yeah, yeah. About this platform GSTS, one thing I could say, like when I read about this, when I saw your channel, YouTube channel, one thing came in my mind that I will also encourage my student to be the part of it. And I think this is the one achievement which you have already achieved, and you are on the way. And as a teacher, because I'm also teaching somewhere, I could see how students, they have interest in research, but they don't get the platform where they could go, where they could present. So here I think this is a wonderful platform. This is really एक बेहतरीन मंच आप लोगों ने तैयार किया है. So I would really recommend my students, and I would request Manish sir, please allow me to send my students to you, and they can be the part of it. So of course they are at a undergrad level, but there are some students, those who are doing research, not affiliated right now to any university, but they have this zeal for the research. So I'm just talking about these students. Somehow they are not getting any platform, they are not getting, they are preparing for MPhil or PhD but not getting it, even they are interested. So I think this is a perfect platform for them. They will interact with the various people, like you all, and it would be a golden opportunity for all of them. So really, it's a really a great idea, a great journey, and I wish you all the very best to all of you. Thank you.
Sorry for the
uh,
interruption, Dr. Madhvi. This platform is only for the graduates and undergraduates from last. This is the first and the second time the students are from the research area. They performed and they talked on this platform. This is basically platform for the undergrads and the postgraduate students.
Yeah,
But right now I'm in the department, so somehow the few researchers are also attached with this group. But when I formed this graduate scholar talk series, I mean to discuss with the graduate and postgraduate students. And from your college, there are the two students who
yeah.
already did a splendid talk on this platform. So over to you, Salendra.
Thank you so much, sir, and thank you so much, ma'am, once again for like joining us today. And of course, we will absolutely gonna search for the students for this particular platform once again. So thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us today. Okay, now, Mr. Abhinav, I'm sorry to I'm again trying to connect with you. I just really want to ask, we have some new students here. हमारे पास आज मैं देख रहा हूँ बहुत से I guess एमफिल के भी स्टूडेंट्स हैं और पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन के भी बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स हैं. सो आई रियली वांट कि आप एक अपना एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करें कि पूरे वीक आपने किस तरीके से रिसर्च किया इस पर्टिकुलर टॉक के लिए और आपने कौन कौन से हर्डल्स फेस किए और समथिंग यू वांट टू सजेस्ट फॉर योर कलीग्स.
थैंक यू शैलेंद्र. जब मैं टॉपिक देख रहा था, एक्चुअली जब मैं अपनी बुक लिख रहा था, तब मैंने देखा कि इस टॉपिक पे अम्बेडकर का कंट्रीब्यूशन तो है, लेकिन बहुत ज़्यादा काम नहीं हुआ है. तो मैं बहुत पहले से इस टॉपिक के बारे में पढ़ रहा था और मैं एक प्लेटफॉर्म चाह रहा था जिस पे मैं इसको डिस्कस कर सकूं बहुत ही इनिशियल रिसर्च के मीडियम से. सो इसलिए जो है मैंने मेरा तो एग्ज़ाम चल रहा था अभी तक, बट मैंने इसको जो है थोड़ा सा पढ़ा और डिस्कस किया अपने कुछ फ्रेंड्स के साथ में. और उसके बाद फिर जो है इसको मैंने अ, अ, एक पूरा आर्टिकल का शेप में दिया. और जैसा कि जीएसटीएस के साथ भी पहले भी हम क्या कहते हैं, देख चुके हैं एक दो बार हम लोग कि कैसे इसका पहले से हम रिहर्सल करते हैं एक बार. सो टॉपिक जो है वो आज के टाइम में रेलेवेंट होना चाहिए, और रेलेवेंट के साथ साथ उसका प्रैक्टिकल यूज़ कितना है वो होना चाहिए. और आज के टाइम में जो है कुछ नया होना चाहिए टॉपिक, मतलब नया मतलब कि जो प्रैक्टिकल जिसका कोई सोशल साइंस में यूजुअली जो टॉपिक होते हैं बेसिकली हिस्ट्री से रिलेटेड होगा या फिर किसी और चीज़ से, उनका प्रैक्टिकल यूज़ बहुत कम देखने को मिलता है. बट हमें टॉपिक ऐसे लेने चाहिए जिनका प्रैक्टिकल यूज़ हो. जैसे वाटर पॉलिसी जो है वो आज के टाइम में बहुत क्रूशियल सब्जेक्ट है, वाटर और इलेक्ट्रिसिटी प्रॉब्लम. सो इसलिए मैंने टॉपिक लिया.
Okay, thank you so much. This will be absolutely gonna be a guide for all other students who are really ardent to portray their ideas here on this particular platform. So thank you so much. Now moving ahead, the measure of any change is the ability of a constant. And with this, I would like to invite our next speaker, like our to be speaker for the next Sunday, Mr. Vaibhav Chauhan, and he will be speaking on the topic psychology, spirituality, and mental health. So, Mr. Vaibhav, kindly introduce your intro of your talk in brief.
Thank you, Shalindra. First of all, good evening, everyone. It's an honor to be here with you all today. And I would like to express my most felt gratitude toward today's speaker for enlightening us with this expertise and insight about the given topic, and the entire team of GSTS for providing me this wonderful academic platform. Myself, Vaibhav Chauhan, and I'm a third year psychology major from Uttaranchal University, Dehradun, Uttarakhand. And I feel extremely delighted to have been given the opportunity to speak about my upcoming talk. And the topic will be psychology, mental health, and spirituality. The objective of my talk will be first to aware you about your conscious self. In the world where we interact with thousands of individuals and their thoughts, did we ever sat with ourselves with that thought and interacted with ourselves? No. And second objective will be awareness of the notion of mental health and why it matters. Our emotionally sensitive Gen Z these days, and all the breakup trauma, something like that. I'll be discussing about that. And third, some myths and fact about psychology. Being a psychology major, we may encounter some posts on Instagram and Facebook. For example, psychology says something like that. Psychology says something like that, but that's completely vague and it's out of the box. As well as we'll be discussing about some facts and effects of psychology. For example, placebo effect, experimental effect, and the origins of psychology. What psychology really is. It is a study of mind or soul or behavior. We'll discover that. And fourth thing, the role of energies and spirituality in life. As I come from Uttarakhand, Devbhoomi Uttarakhand. Okay, so yeah, spirituality has influenced me, and I'm looking forward to influence you all as well. Okay, and in conclusion, I would like to thank you all for this kind attention and interest in this brief intro. And I shall really try my best to presenting on 21st May around 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. And I hope that the research information provided will be useful and helpful for you all. And I'm looking forward your presence next Sunday at 5 p.m. And about the topic, psychology, spirituality, and mental health. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Webhub. We will surely join you on the next Sunday on the upcoming GSTS, which is 116th. And I'm requesting to each and everyone kindly join us in the upcoming GSTS. At the end, great things happen to those who don't stop believing, trying, learning, and being grateful. So, at the end, for vote of thanks, I would like to call Mr. Siddharth Yadav.
When the well is dry, we know the worth of water. With this quote of Benjamin Franklin, good evening, everyone. This is Siddharth, second year graduate scholar and executive member of Saksh team. This is it is a great honor for me to present my heartily gratitudes before you all. So in this series, firstly, I would like to thank our today's respected guest of honor, Dr. Madhvi ma'am, for giving valuable time for attending the event GSTS 115. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your thoughtful insight and informative words, and sharing and sparing your valuable time with all of us. We were truly grateful to have you in our event. Now, I would like to express my earnest gratitude to all the respected teachers for joining and gracing us with their presence in the event GSTS 115. A special thanks to Dr. Neena ma'am, Dr. Pankaj Kishore sir, Dr. Simi ma'am. Thank you so much to all the teachers. Now, I wholeheartedly thanks to our star of the day, who is today's speaker, Mr. Abhinav, for giving such a remarkable and commendable presentation and talk. Thank you so much, Mr. Abhinav, for making evening informative for all of us. Now, I heartily thanks to all the scholars from various departments and colleges for joining us today. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for your support and guidance, and we are here every time. Thank you everyone for making GSTS 115 successful. We will again meet on next Sunday in GSTS 116 with another very informative talk on the insightful topic Psychology, Spirituality, and Mental Health by Mr. Bebha Chauhan. Till then, stay safe, take care, and thank you, everyone.
Okay, right now 120 seconds has left. So I think Dr. Jitendra Kumar has some ideas about this topic. Sir, uh, can you want to say something? Jitendra Singh. Okay, no. So really, it's a very pleasant surprise for me, and it's really one of my idea to creating this platform. Right now, today, 114 or 115 GSTS, we are having undergraduate students also, post-graduate students also, some of my MPhil students, and some of my PhD students, and teachers and teachers who teaching 10 years, teacher who teaching 15 years. So really, this is a very auspicious moment for me that everyone came on this platform, and this is my idea that bridge between the undergrads to the research. And I think this is also an idea about the National Education Policy. So thank you, moderators, for doing this job and connecting you to the research scholars from different colleges, good teachers, good research scholars. And one thing is very uttermost because last day only I talked to one of my students and he was telling me, sir, I want to study in migration and health. So here is a teacher. She gives you some idea about the health, migration, and etc. So if you if you have any questions, so kindly go and meet Madhvi. She's a wonderful scholar. So and this is the platform where intellectuals not only speak out but interact with each other. So if you want to go and interact with the guest of honor, guest of honors means not only that they came in this platform and say very good things and write off. No, it's your duty, the scholars, the students, to catch up teachers and go and interact with them. So it is 6 o'clock. Thank you very much, Dr. Madhvi, coming and giving us a very pleasant evening. And again, the start of the day. Uh, Mr.
Abhinav.
Abhinav. It's a great Abhinav. Really, it's a fantastic topic. Though I am also the student of modern India and Madhvi also a student of modern India, but this topic is really appreciable. So thank you, Abhinav, and have a nice day to all of my students, graduate, postgraduates, MPhil, and PhD. Really, this is the most important day of my life. One of the most important day of my life. Thank you very much, and we join next. We'll join next Sunday with another good topic, spirituality, the land of the Deva. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day. To Mr. Prime Minister, can we leave? Miss Prime Minister?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much,
Okay,
everyone.
thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everyone. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.